Most of you who have bought property will know that when you buy property, it takes a period of anything between 4 weeks to maybe a year. There are still some people out there, like first homeowners, think you buy a property today and you walk in tomorrow, but you pay a deposit. The standard deposit is 10%. And what a deposit is, it has two functions. It's a part payment, which is held in trust usually by a neutral third party, typically the agent. And it's also an earnest or a form of security. So if the buyer does the wrong thing, the seller can have access to that deposit in an extreme case. For example, and it's happened to clients of mine twice in the last 30 years, where the buyer does a runner. You know, it's all very well you can sue them, but if you can't find them, what do you do? Well, the deposit is a form of compensation. You do get a choice under the contract whether to sue the wrongdoer or to forfeit the deposit. So that's what the deposit is. Now, what a trend has started some years ago, and I'm old enough to remember, where sellers have put clauses in contracts where they require a release of the deposit. Why would they do that? The usual reason is that it started off with residential sales, where you're selling a property, you buy another one. Oh, geez, I need a deposit for the one I'm buying. Oh, I don't have a spare $40,000, $50,000, $70,000. I'll get the deposit being paid on my sale to pay the deposit on my purchase. Problem is, the deposit's held with the neutral third party, the person we call the stakeholder. So they put this clause in the contract. So most lawyers acting for a buyer would recommend not to agree to release the deposit. Why? There's a risk. It goes to a third party that is not involved in the transaction, so if something goes wrong, it's harder to get your deposit back. You've got the right to sue, but if it's held by the agent and something does go wrong and you as a buyer is entitled to deposit back, you'll get it back virtually straight away. If it's with a third agent who's not related to the transaction, you've got next to Buckley's of getting it straight away. So there's a risk there. Another risk is when you're buying from a developer. Meriton is a culprit here, where they absolutely insist on having the deposit released to them. In fact, I always have recommended the clients buying from a developer never ever agree to a contract which requires a release of the deposit when the seller is a developer. Developers go broke. They go broke all the time. Meriton gets away with it. I don't know how, but my advice to clients is you take a risk. The alternative is to walk away. And some do. I've had a case in the past where we've sat on a contract for 4 or 5 weeks where we insist that the release deposit clause come out. The developer says no, no, no. Eventually they give in. So the deposit gets held by a neutral third party and the developer does go bust. And the clients think, you know, well, they thank me for a start, but I feel a lot better that they haven't lost their 40, 50, 100 grand.